Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. Today we are watching Sadhguru talk about if you're lying or not. If you're doing this one thing, you're lying. Don't do this, you're not going to be a liar.
If you talk about something which is not yet in your experience, to put it very bluntly, it amounts to lying. So this is the first thing you must do, you must stop lying. Do not talk about anything which is not yet a reality for you. It may be said in the Gita, it may be written in the Vedas, everybody may be talking about it, it doesn't matter. It's not true for you, you do not talk about it. You do not talk about soul, you do not talk about heaven, you do not talk about God, because it is not yet a reality for you. If you do not talk about these things, a certain longing will appear within you, which will lead you there. If you talk about it, you will satisfy yourself with gossip, the real thing will never happen to you. So, do not deceive yourself. This is the least you can do for yourself is do not bullshit yourself. If you do not bullshit others also, your life around you will also improve phenomenally, but that I will leave it to you, okay? That's your decision. But at least with this one person, be 100% straight, no nonsense. You must do this because this person deserves and you owe it to this. That with this one at least, I don't know in what kind of social and other situations you are, whether you can stop bullshitting to others. If you do that, you can build a phenomenal life around you also. If you can do it around yourself, it's great, you'll build something wonderful. If that is not possible, at least with this one person, do not bullshit this person. At least with this person, 100% straight. People will discuss Gita on the tea shop, people will nothing wrong with the tea shop, I'm saying not with the necessary focus or the sanctity that it needs. Sanctity not in terms of elevating it to some place, sanctity in terms of if you want to put your hand into the milk, you would see that your hands are clean, isn't it? Because otherwise it'll go bad. This is just like that. If you want to put your hands into something, before that, a little bit of care. Otherwise, you will become a confused soul, which is impossible. But you think it's real. Confused mind, possible. Mind can only be confused. If somebody has a clear mind, he must be a fanatic. Do you understand? The nature of the mind is confusion, that's its beauty, it's always confused because it can't figure anything. But it can gather everything and mull over it endlessly. This is the nature of your logical mind. Mind is always going to be confused unless you're a single-track idiot or you're a fanatic. Otherwise, mind will be confused, a confused mind is good. If you know how to organize your confusion, if you know how to handle your confusion, if you know how to increase the enormity of your confusion consciously, if you can handle your confusion consciously, mind is a very productive instrument. If you're looking for a mind which is not confused, you can go for a brain surgery. You can remove half of it, there'll be no confusion. Clear? The more intelligent you are, the more you will wonder, the more you will be confused about everything. The more profoundly you look at life, the more confused you will be. And it's good. Only somebody who doesn't look at anything, who's got a parallel vision, he is dead sure about everything. So you must either be an idiot or a fanatic to do that, and there's not much difference between the two. So now, your mind is confused. That is the nature of the mind. You have to learn to use the confusion to your benefit. So everything around you, if you pay enough attention, there is so much information, no way can any mind ever process it. Only an unattentive mind thinks it knows everything. An attentive mind is always wondering and confused about every little thing in the universe. And that's the way it should be. You should not suffer your confusion. You must understand if you're constantly confused, that means you have a functioning intelligence. So, don't try to conclude and take away the confusion. Confusion is fine. Right now, do not imagine things which are not true. Confusion is because never in the history of humanity, anybody ever figured the nature of creation, nature of life in their mind. You can become life and know life. You can never figure life, just understand this. Never ever can you figure life out. But if you become an absolute piece of life, you will know life for what it is. So the only way to know life is to become one. Are you one? Are you a soul? Are you life? Are you life or no? You are. So become that. Right now you are not alive. You are a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions and prejudices. That is more dominant than the life in you, isn't it? Yes or no? Your thought and emotion is occupying more space than the aliveness that you are. So you are not experiencing yourself as a piece of life, you are experiencing yourself as a bundle of thought and emotion and whatever else. This is a wrong perception. Because you're alive, you may think. You understand? Not because you think that you exist. Because you're alive, you may think if you wish. But right now, the thought process has become so compulsive that people think that is more dominant or is predominant to life. It is not so. It does not… your thought does not exist before life. Because you're alive, you may think. Thoughts, if one's thought is so, focused towards one thing in his life, nothing else seems to matter, such a person is free simply because of his thought, not a confused thought process. That thought process will not protect you. But if one's thought is like this, that it is absolutely connected to one thing and one thing only, a focused thought, such a thought can give you a lot of protection and a lot of purpose and a lot of capability. That's a different thing. But right now you are not in that state, it's better to use a simple tool. And you don't have to worry that somebody is going to affect you. You need to understand this. If you protect yourself, you will also protect yourself from well-being. Do you understand? So the protection should be such that only what is not necessary for you is filtered. You need a filter, not a wall. Yes? If you build a wall around you, it'll protect you from life itself. Lot of people are doing this. They want to protect themselves from death and danger, but what they will succeed is they will protect themselves from life. Even life won't touch them. They're so safe. Don't become like that. Life should touch you. Even if life smothers you, it's better than remaining untouched by life. Thank you.
So this was a very important video for me to watch and to rewatch, and something that is important to understand when you're in the spiritual path, because you don't want to be a liar. You don't want to lie. And I've lied a lot. Too much. And still, as I'm making videos, talking to the camera, to you, I'm still lying. Not intentionally, but realistically, a lie is a lie. What is a lie? Well, talking about things that are not in my experience. What is not in my experience? A lot of things. Things that I've heard Sadhguru say, and then me repeating it back to you. That's essentially a lie. I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel good when I'm saying it, and if you're perceptive, you can tell this is not embodiment. This person doesn't understand this, it hasn't embodied this energy, this knowledge inside of him. So it's basically like reading something from a textbook and then repeating it back. It's of no use. But I'm trying to integrate everything that Sadhguru has taught. I'm so thankful, and what a wonderful situation it is for us to live in a time with Sadhguru alive here. So, being alive on planet Earth, you are living in the most coarsest reality, which is a third dimension, or which is this physical reality. The grass, the physical body, everything that you see around you, it's nice, it's important, it's needed. and it shouldn't be discounted. It's not any less than anything else. At the same time, there are many levels deeper than the physical reality. There are different dimensions. It goes lower and lower and lower. It's like, have you seen a mine shaft or excavated mine? Not an underground mine, but the layers of soil and earth that is removed for the tractor to go around. It's a kind of a stepping stone for giants. It's a mine like that. So in just the same way, the physical reality is the ground floor, which everybody walks upon, and then you take one step deeper, and there's a totally different rules, and step deeper and more and more and more and more steps. So there's different steps into this. There's different dimensions, different layers, different realities. And to be able to master the deepest realities is the most essential thing as you are alive on planet Earth, here. Why? Because if you're just living in the physical plane of existence, then you may be trying things for 1,000 years and they still won't work, because moving the physicality around is quite difficult and challenging. When you find out what's actually beneath the physicality, or what is ruling this whole existence, you manipulating that, you influencing that, it has much better results than anything else that you would do physically. So you can go and you can build and work and blah 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 and try to maneuver yourself in the physical world and the world around you, but it could just be snapped away and taken it all away from you. So one shouldn't rely too much on the physical reality, again, because it's ever-changing and you really can't control any of this. That's to one extent. So to another extent, you need to take charge of the physical reality. Yeah. Live in a good house and eat good food, but physicality is besides the point. We're going to move away from this topic, because what's much more stable for you to focus on and integrate and learn how to use is the internal reality. Because when you know how the interiority of this works, there's an infinite level of understanding how this works. But once you begin to understand some things, how your life flows, what's actually underneath the physical reality, at the very basic minimal experience, you'll be able to manifest things. Like, how do you manifest things? I'll give you a simple and easy technique here, is to voice the things that you want. Because the sound that you emanate from your mouth, it has power. And one of the most powerful things you can do is speak. It's not simple. It's a very strong action. Aside from that, once you learn to energize your speech, once you put energy behind what you're saying, with intention you make that speech, that is beginning the wave of manifestation. And it inevitably will reach the shore. So you can live in this physical reality being absolutely confused. And I think, unfortunately, that's how most people are living. They do things, and then some things happen to them, and then they cry and they're confused. Why did this happen? Well, because. Why did anything happen? It's just things happen. Once you learn and pay attention to the inner reality, or the thing that is underneath all of this, my life becomes much less confusing. A lot more ease settles into you. And you can move through the world effortlessly, carefree, knowing that you can make the outcomes that you want in this life. Just as I'm living, thankfully. Thanking God. 29 years of age, I still haven't figured out anything, but I'm beginning to scratch the surface of what this reality means, what this universe is, and figuring out a thing or two about my own inner mind, my own inner workings. And that puts me to ease. That removes the anxiety. Because again, if you're driving a car and you have no idea what the pedals do, what the steering wheel does, and it's all random, you're gonna definitely have anxiety, because the wrong choice, the wrong action, which inevitably will come, it'll lead you to hitting a wall. But once you learn how to drive, okay, you're in control. You can drive safely, comfortably, easily. So just like this, when you learn how the interiority of this functions, when you learn at the very basic how to make yourself blissful, which I'm beginning to do, if you learn how the manifestation processes and how energy works, oof, that's phenomenal. So I'm here to create wealth. I'm in my home currently in Canada. And this is something that I want to manifest. I'm sharing this with you. Personal desire of mine. I want to create wealth. What is wealth? Wealth to me means absolute abundance of life around you. Not only internal life, which I do have, and I'm getting more and more of that every day, but exterior wealth. Wealth meaning any thing that I need to acquire or want to acquire, I can acquire easily. The streams of wealth, streams of energy, streams of a life-giving material is flowing into my household and into my life, and creating a pool or a lake of wealth or an abundance of wealth. Hope you can understand that. So that's it, my friends. Stop saying things that are outside of your internal experience. People say things that are outside of their experience for one of two reasons, at least the ones that I can think of right now. Number one, they're afraid to say that I don't know. They're afraid to admit that they don't know. Or two, they're trying to appear smarter than they actually are. I'm sure there are other reasons, but these are the two biggest ones. And I've fallen prey to this. Sometimes even my YouTube channel. I start speaking and I stumble upon something, and after I said the sentence, I realized, why did I just say that? I have no idea if that's true or not true. Well, because I didn't want to seem like a fool online on the camera to all of you. Or you want to appear smarter than what you actually are. I don't have this problem. I know that I'm quite stupid. The lack of knowledge in me is vast, is phenomenal. And to call myself stupid is not some comparison that somebody else is intelligent. We're all intelligent. But how much do you know? Nothing. I don't even know a single blade of grass here. And look how much grass there is. Do you think I know anything? Absolutely not. In some realistic sense and way, I'm pretending here. I'm faking it. I'm faking it. Fake it till you make it. That's me. I'm getting on this camera, I'm talking, I'm just sharing my ideas. But this could all be wrong. And I'm hesitating on every step I take because I have no idea whether this is true or not true. The only way that I can really see that it's kind of true is based on the results that I'm getting. I'm getting quite fantastic results in my life. Meaning what? Meaning ease of mind, bliss, happiness, joy, peace, relaxation, and all the material success, lack of anxiety, all these things. So the results in my external environment and also internal environment lead me to believe that I'm on the right track. Because if I was doing the spiritual game and every day I'd be just miserable and unhappy, well, I was like that once, and slowly moving away from that. That would be a different story. So it appears as it works, spiritual stuff works. And if you want to speak with me, you can do so now for free, for 30 minutes, at no cost, no charge. You can take advantage or make use of my clarity, my perception. If you want to know things in your life, I can help you to see that. All for nothing, for $0. You should do so while you have this chance. ShivaKailash.com is the place to be. Buy yourself this spiritual Rudraksha mala in the Himalayas, and as well as all the other spiritual stuff that I have. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.